everybody, and welcome to the weekly Chambers update. My name's Jack Lank. I'm the president here at the Chamber. I appreciate you taking the time to come and visit with us today. We try and bring interesting guests, interesting subjects to our weekly show. This week, I'm very pleased that I'm able to bring on an old-time friend, longtime friend, but he's also the founder of Personal Best Karate, Chris Rappold. Chris is a five-time world champion, holds the USA's gold medal in kickboxing. He is currently not only the owner and founder of Personal Best Karate, but he's the executive director of Team Paul Mitchell Karate. Welcome, Chris. How are we doing?
Well, thank you, Mr. Lank. It's a pleasure to be here, and you're just good for the ego, my friend. You just make me feel so good throwing all of those past accolades.
Well, they're always there. You should be very, very proud of those.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit first about Personal Best Karate, when you started it, and what made you start this franchise.
Sure. Well, I started martial arts when I was about 13 years old and graduated in college with a degree from Brigade State University with a degree in exercise physiology. And about 2 months after that, Jack, I opened Personal Best. So graduated in May, opened in July, and I've been doing it ever since. So this September, we're starting our 30th year, which we're super proud of and excited. And over the years, the school gone from one school. Now we have 5 schools, and still I can say unequivocally, without question, I love it today as much as I did 30 years ago. I really, really do.
The camaraderie that you've seen with your students that I have personally witnessed, you've had some students that have been with you for a long, long time, and some of them are now your instructors. Am I correct?
That's correct. Yeah. Right now I'm doing most of my teaching at our Foxborough school, and the gentleman that just left, he started with me when he was 6 years old. So he had literally been with me the whole time. Saeed Mansour for 30 years. And his counterpart, Stacy, 16, 17 years. The gentleman that I have running our Norton school, 28 years. So really, a good, I've been very, very blessed with a lot of great people, a lot of people that are, in this for the right reasons. They love their craft, they love the martial arts, and they love sharing it with other people. So, I'm blessed that way for sure.
Yeah, you do. You've been very lucky. You get a very, very good crew over there. Now, through these crazy COVID times, I know a lot of businesses have struggled, and especially businesses like yours, that there is so much personal interaction, especially during the classes where everybody is face to face, very close, a lot of contact at times. But you've decided to pivot a little bit in your business. And you're going to become a phenomenal resource to a lot of families in the area. Tell us what you've done to change.
Well, as I was talking about, and I said the words, I love it more today than I ever have. Including the day I started, immediately what went right through my mind is, wait a minute, COVID. So I guess let me preface that. Because I don't want to be disingenuous to your listeners. Personal Best, like so many businesses, we have been, hurt greatly, by this pandemic that I don't think anyone saw coming. And it has been a challenge for us, like it's been for so many people. And but look, when things like that happen, much like what you're doing, right? There's a lot of good things that'll come out of it, and you try to find a way that you can continue to bring value, which is exactly what you're doing by having this program. You're finding ways to reach out to the businesses that you support, and providing yourself as a resource, and also I've just all of the emails that I get from you and all of the things that you're keeping going, Jack. It's really quite impressive.
Thank you.
But, like you, we've had to look and we've had to say, how can we be of service given this time? Because times are different. So if we just sit and we long for what was today, we're not going to do well. So to that end, what we've done is we've we've created learning opportunities on Zoom, which right now we're doing both models. So if somebody has a pre-existing condition or is living with a loved one with a pre-existing condition, they can continue to train. All of our classes are online, and then also we've recognized that um, look, there's a lot of two working person families out there, and schools just no fault of their own, but they just are releasing now, what the school year is going to look like, and it's causing a lot of parents to say, "Whoa, what, wait a minute, what am I going to do with my children throughout the day? I got to be at work." So we've recognized, across just our three corporate schools, we have 22,000 square feet worth of space. So what we're doing is we're converting that space during the day to a learning camp for children. So on those hybrid days, instead of being stuck at home alone, or driving their parents crazy, right? They can come to one of our schools. They'll have all of the safety measures in place, meaning Purelled hands, temperature taken right at the door. They're escorted to their own square on the floor, their own desk, their own supplies, everything, and they can enjoy a school day there among friends, all by keeping good social distance and having fun. So instead of doing it alone, we're providing that. So we're really trying to, we were just listening to parents, and they came to us and, hey, this is the challenge we're having. So we're making that happen. Mm-hmm.
Chris, you've worked with youth for, as you say, coming up on 30 years now. So you get to know them pretty well. What effect do you think that this social distancing and separation of the kids not being able to interact with their classmates and their friends at school, how do you think this is affecting them as a group?
Well, look, here's what I'll say. If you compare it to COVID not happening, and you compare the children, today to the exact children minus COVID, you're going to find, I think, stunted social skills. And I don't think it's any mystery that I think academically the children are going to be behind if you're comparing it to, a world without COVID, because every day a child is around other people their own age. They're learning boundaries, they're learning social skills, they're learning how to deal with conflict, they're learning how to be part of a team. There's hands-on learning in relationship that they're that they get from having an intimate in-person relationship with their teachers as mentors. So there's a lot that's being taken away from children. But that being said, children aren't victims. All they know is what they know. And look, I remember I always used to have the bragging rights to my daughters. I used to be able to say, girls, you have no idea. When I was younger, second grade, blizzard of 78, we had like a week and a half off from school, and it went right into February vacation. Sorry about that. So we ended up with like 2 weeks of school off. Well, now you look at COVID. My bragging rights are gone. But anyways, all children know is what they know, and they're going to adapt, and they're with peers that are also going to be, I think, a little bit academically and socially behind. So I think it'll all work out. But I think for their growth and development, we want to, continue to grow them in the safest way possible.
So I guess we can't use the same excuse our parents used. I went to school uphill both ways in the dead of winter, and the kids are going to look at us today and say, "Yeah, right, I did COVID."
Yeah, I lived during a pandemic, Dad. What are you talking about? Like, what, you had snow? That's what you've been talking about our whole entire childhood? You know, I mean, and honestly, look, I've talked to people, and I've talked to you offline. Let's make no mistake about it. This is our Great Depression. This is a global pandemic, and the likes of which we have not seen in 100 years. So this is very, you got to make light of it to keep a sense of humor, but I don't want to understate the how important this is, how critical this is, and also too, I think, I'm not sure we've seen all of the ramifications of what COVID will mean. Now, I'm hoping, like many others, that there's going to be a lot of good that comes out of it, but I think there's probably going to be some things that we're not expecting to see, and I worry about that a little bit. Things like alcohol abuse, drug abuse, domestic violence, suicides, mental health, stress, depression, anxiety, etc. Because look, it's an awful lot. This is an awful lot to put on people, and like I said, this is our Great Depression, and let's all stick by each other and do the best we can to get through it.
Well, Chris, one of the other things that I know that you're pretty well known for, and you do such an excellent job, you go around and you speak to schools and different groups about bullying.
Mhm.
How do you think that the bullying right now is going to affect the kids? A lot of it is done, online. There's a few kind of face to face, but how do you see that working out through this COVID?
Yeah, I think I think bullying, I think, has definitely taken a back seat. Now, now that being said, I don't want to get up on my what is it, salt box, or my
Soap,
podium? What is it?
soapbox.
My soapbox, my salt box. COVID's had a massive effect on me. Yeah, my soapbox, but bullying, because of the social distance that children have experienced, I think bullying, obviously is way down. That being said, we all have to understand, and it's really a school teacher that brought this to my attention many years ago. And I was doing a teacher training, and she accounted to me after the training. She was from New York, and she said, it's amazing how I have been bullied as an adult because I'm a Yankees fan. And this was right during the whole, the first kind of World Series and all of that kind of stuff. And she was, talking to me. She said, it's bullying doesn't just happen to children, it happens to adults. So, I think, and I'm not here to get political at all, but I think as adults, we all have to understand that, actions are caught before they're taught, and the things that children are being exposed to now through some of the social issues that are being brought to light, and look, having a disagreement, you believe one thing, I believe another thing, God bless the both of you. But when it becomes personal, and children are seeing this continuous demonstration of inappropriate communication, again, those are things that I think are going to have an impact long term. So,
we're all got cabin fever. Everybody is sick and tired of this COVID thing. But, as you just said, the children learn from examples. The children, imitate what we do as adults and as parents. And, I think we all need to be a little bit softer, a little bit kinder to each other. I've been out into the public numerous times, and, to see minor little things happen and people blow up over it and yell and scream. And okay, we got to find a way to get along a little bit better, because we are all in this together.
don't you think? Jack, I'm embarrassed to say I'm a 51-year-old man, and I consider myself a very peaceful person, but I swear to you, about 3 weeks ago, I actually thought I was going to have to get into a fight from somebody that was very upset with me because I was loading my groceries into where I live, and I left my car running, but but I but my because my car was running, my lights were on, and he thought it was incredibly inconsiderate of me. And by the way, he's yelling at me without a mask on. And then he started to use profanity, and then he threatened me, and I'm thinking, my goodness, I'm 51 years old. Are you kidding me? Um, Look, I feel, putting my ego aside, I felt bad for the guy because that's not normal behavior. That's a person that's probably lost his job. That's a person that's under stress. I mean, there might be some mental, again, just the way he was carrying on. I think most people would look at that and say it was a little bit extreme for me leaving my car running. um, if you take a step back, I think we all have to take a breath. I've seen it happen in the supermarket where where this happened, and a police officer had to kind of get involved, and and then one other situation I witnessed that I truly believe, if it wasn't for COVID, these three situations, they wouldn't have happened. But people are wound tight, and hey,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
phone
sorry.
rang, my phone rang.
I meant to shut it off.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but yeah, I think and if I, certainly people could accuse me of being a little bit biased for sure, but my life has been devoted to health and wellness, and I appreciate. I wouldn't want the governor's job for all of the money in the world, and I think he's doing, by the way, a phenomenal job, far better than I could possibly do. But I do think the opportunity for people to get out, for people to move, for people to exercise, for people to get rid of their stress and anxiety in a healthy way is very important.
And I think as we move into the fall and winter weather, that's really going to come. You're not going to have the opportunity to even go take a walk or go do some exercising in the parking lot. Ride the bike. So I think this problem, is going to get worse before it gets better. And I hope I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but I do think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
I think, look, the reality is, I think we've all heard that come October through December, there could be the second coming, that we're coming into flu season. That's not spreading any rumor. I think they've been talking about it since COVID started, is what's going to happen, in this flu season. And look, we all have our fingers crossed, but it could very well, get worse. Look, if it's going to get worse, the only thing I can control is me. That's it. I can't control COVID. I can't control the governor shutting our business down. There's so little I can control. The only thing I can control is what I eat. I can control how my body moves. I can control, the things that go into my mind. Those type of things. I can control being around the people that I'm around, because I've always advocated, it has been taught by me by my mentors, is take notice of the people you spend your time with, because evil companions can corrupt good morals, that type of thing. But during this pandemic, I think we have to be even more vigilant. I do, let me say I do, to what I listen to, and to what I read, and to how I take care of myself, because there's so much doom and gloom out there, and I can't be that. People, look, like with yourself, you're our executive director, you're our president of the United Chamber of Commerce. So we're depending on you to play that role. And when people come to see me, people are coming, and they're coming to see me to uh, have a couple hours of their week where they can just really enjoy and invest in themselves. So I can't be, basking in, the doom and gloom and, listening to the news and, doing all that stuff. Stay informed, yes, but, uh, that's about, there's a line for sure.
Absolutely. And I know, one of the basics of a lot of the classes that you teach is you teach our younger folks, and you have adult classes too. Uh,
Hmm.
you teach them respect for others. You teach them to learn to listen to other people,
Yeah.
and try and keep things calm. Try and keep things. Oh, I don't know what the right word is.
Well, we have a we teach something that's on all of the walls and in all of our schools, and they're called black belt principles. And they're not exclusive to personal best, but I think the way that we integrate them into the art that we teach is a bit unique. But self control, our definition for that is being able to keep your mind and body still. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty word on the wall, but okay, let me throw a pandemic at you and let me challenge you to keep your mind still. You know what I'm saying? It's a simple word to talk about, but go ahead, do it in practice. Do it in practice when everything around you is uncertain and changing. I mean, that's the test of it, right? So you don't outgrow principles like self control or perseverance or integrity or those are ageless. Jack, you're as old as dust, and those words are important to you.
I don't even know why I like you. I don't. Well, Chris and I have had a great relationship for a long, long time. Some of the other things that Chris does, and I was going to ask you this question as well. What are we going to do about the Turkey Brigade this year?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me say we have had a relationship for a very long time, and you graced my home a long, long time ago, wearing a white beard and a red hat, and you just made my daughter's life when you came as Santa Claus. But also, too, Jack, you've been such a big support for Personal Best Charity, and for 25 years now, we've done this Thanksgiving project we call our Turkey Brigade, and unfortunately, for the first time in 25 years, it is canceled. We met with the board of directors, we met with our committee, and we just putting all of our heads together. We just could not figure out a way with all of the levels of uncertainty to pull it off the way that we've done it. So we have to take a step back this year, which is heartbreaking because the need is certainly going to be there, and last year it was almost 3,400 baskets that went out. They will not be going out this year, so it's that'll be the first time in 25 years that the communities have had that taken away from them. It's really the food pantries and all of the service organizations. They kind of, okay, Personal Best takes care of Thanksgiving. That's one less thing we have to take care of. They can keep their food supply for the holidays and all of that, and it's just we just couldn't do it.
No, and like you say, the need is probably going to be a little greater right now with everything, and I was certainly wondering how logistically you could do that for folks who don't understand what the Turkey Brigade is. It first started out at the church over in Mansfield, and then we moved to the charter school, where hundreds and hundreds of people come, and you get in line, you're handed the roasting pan. Then you walk around the gymnasium, and that roasting pan is filled with everything that you need for a Thanksgiving dinner. It's all wrapped up in cellophane, put on the gym floor on a Saturday. Sunday, the same amount of people come back, and you volunteer to deliver meals to the different families. So you grab a couple of baskets, and then the big tractor trailer pulls up with all those turkeys. I foolishly, one of my first years, volunteered to unload that stupid truck. And when you're old as dust, as you have just mentioned to me, I couldn't walk for 2 days. have to move in 3,000 20-pound turkeys.
Yeah. It's yeah. Well, we kind of target people. I'll let you in on it now. We kind of target people. Oh, is this your first year doing it? Okay, we got a job for you. now, now you've supported us for so many years. You know to stand clear.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. No, but on a serious note, Jack, the inroads that you helped us make, the continual support that you've given, our largest donation came from Plain Ridge Park Casino, which is something that you facilitated. That was a donation of $25,000 to our charity. Um, in so many big ways and small ways, you've helped us, and we're just so very, grateful. And I think, and I think about, organizations like yours. It's just, they're just invaluable, and it saddens me that, some people are to the point that they have to make choice, because there's only so much to go around, and when your business gets decimated, a lot of times, everything has to go. But we need the chamber. We need the support, and it would be difficult for me to quantify over the years that I've been involved with your chamber and in the local chamber that I'm involved in. It would be difficult to quantify the relationships that I've made and the impact that it's had. I mean, it's really been tremendous.
Well, it's always been a great partnership, and believe me, we truly appreciate it too. And I know this is something you told me that we weren't going to do, but too bad, it's my show and I can do whatever I want. Tell us, how can families get a hold of you to get involved with the learning centers and getting their kids enrolled, or whatever it might have to be?
Yeah, there's every town is doing it different. So there are some towns that are full virtual. There are some towns that are, the children will go in the morning, or they'll go in the afternoon, or some towns are doing, Monday, Tuesday is in school, and etc. So there's all different versions, but we're really trying to be of service to that 5 to 12, 13-year-old group. And if anybody's interested, they can be in touch with me here at the Foxborough School. It's 508-543 1858. You can email me. My email address is founder, 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 at personalbestkarate.com. And be happy to give you any information. But for the parents that are in this kind of quandary of where, what can I do, for my children, and I have these couple days a week. I mean, we're doing it Monday through Friday, so we can support somebody from early in the morning until, extended day hours. But there are some people that just need, a couple half days or whatever. So if you reach out to me, I will definitely provide you the information you need. And if it's a good it's a good match, we'll happily, put your child on the wait list. And if not, try to recommend or find you a resource that'll work.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you very much. You've been a good friend for a long time. I appreciate you coming on my show today. Folks, if you have a need, please reach out to Chris. If you can't get a hold of Chris, shoot me an email. I'll be glad to put you in touch with him. He is one of the kindest human beings that I have the pleasure of calling a friend. And Chris, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate everything that you're doing, and look forward to shaking your hand soon.
Okay.
All right.
Well, again, thanks for being with us this afternoon. We shall see you again next week.
All right.
Be safe and be social.